What's up guys, Brett Medlock here. Today I wanted to do my predictions for PlayStation's newly announced State of Play live show. I'm guessing it's going to be pre-recorded, kind of like a Nintendo Direct. I don't know, maybe it is going to be some type of live event, but if it's only streaming, I don't know why they would do that. So I got really excited about this announcement because it seems like this is going to be kind of like Sony's E3. I don't think they're doing anything around that time, so this might just be all we get in terms of big announcements. I don't think they have anything planned, at least for the next couple months, especially since they're doing this now. So, of course, I wanted to predict the stuff that I want to see and the stuff I think we're going to see. So let's go ahead and jump on in. One game I think they're going to jump into quite a bit is one of their smaller studios games. It's a game by Pixel Opus called Concrete Genie. If you haven't heard about it, check out this gameplay. It's very beautiful. It's very graffiti and paint focused. But along with that, the developer said there's going to be some combat as well. And I don't think we've really seen much of that, at least from what I've looked at. So I'm excited to see more about that game. And I think it's coming out this year, probably in the next couple months. I have a feeling it's going to be like July or August, I would guess, and I think that'd be a nice spot for a game like that. Now, there are three huge games that we know are coming, which are Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us 2, and Death Stranding. Now, with Death Stranding, I think they're going to show us some real gameplay for this. Like, we've seen Norman Reedus walking in a field, I don't know, delivering a baby or something. I don't know what he's up to in this game, but there's weird aliens and different, like, universes, and, like, I don't even know. It's just super weird. I think we're going to get a real idea of what the game is actually like during this State of Play Direct. I don't know what to call it. I'd like to see some gunplay in there. I'm pretty sure it's a shooter, I think. I don't really know what Death Stranding is, but I am very intrigued by how weird it is, so I'm excited to see more of that game. Now, I'm sure you remember that amazing Shadow of the Colossus remake by Bluepoint Games. I think we're gonna get their next game announcement in a couple days, and honestly, I have a feeling that it's Jak and Daxter. I know like a lot of people don't really want that, but I know there's a lot of people who really do want that. I personally, if there's another Jak and Daxter game, I'm just glad Naughty Dog's not spending their time working on a game like that. I think they've grown and evolved into what they're making now, and I would hate for them to go back to doing that. But anyway, I have a feeling Bluepoint might be working on a big remake for PlayStation again, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's Jak and Daxter. We've seen the success of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and all these games that are getting remade from the ground up, and I have a feeling Jak and Daxter would do really well, especially if it's beautiful, because we know Bluepoint can make some beautiful games. Now, one big pie in the sky prediction is Horizon Zero Dawn 2, or Horizon 2, I don't know what they're going to call it, but I think we're going to get a tease for this game. I don't know if they're going to show much, but I think they want to tell us, hey, remember that big, amazing, awesome game from 2017? Well, you're going to get a sequel sometime in the next couple years. I think it would be awesome to see this. Horizon Zero Dawn is probably my favorite game of this gen, which is pretty crazy. I don't know how they would do it, how it would change, what they would add, but I don't think it would take as long as the original Horizon did. It took them like over 5 years to develop that game, and they're not starting from scratch this time. They actually have a skeleton to build off of with the original Horizon, so I don't think it's going to take as long to get a sequel. Now, if you read the PlayStation blog post, you'll see that they are going to be announcing new games. They said it right there. So we're not just going to be seeing stuff we've already known about. This isn't going to be another E3 situation. This is going to be full-blown new stuff. Now, I don't know if it's going to be crazy big games, but it did have an S on the end of that game. It said game, so we're going to be getting multiple announcements. And one of those announcements, I hope, is a sequel to the Ratchet and Clank reboot. Now, I've talked about this on the channel, but I recently just played through that reboot, and I loved it. I don't know what took me so long to play through it, but it's fantastic, and I highly recommend checking it out. So I would love to see Insomniac Games take a whack at a sequel to this reboot. I don't know, it wouldn't have to follow the second game in the series like this one followed the first one. I think it could be a whole new thing, but hell, if they follow the second one, I'm sure it'll still be amazing. Now, remember that game Wild that Sony revealed like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago? Well, I think it's finally going to be shown off again very soon, because Sony just trademarked the name Wild recently. I have a feeling that this is going to end up looking like a totally different game than it was 4 years ago. I think graphically it's going to look way more impressive, and I personally am hoping that they scrapped the randomly generated environments. I know for some games it works out, but for an open world RPG or like whatever this game is, it looks really cool. I don't really want like randomly generated environments, but yeah, be sure to let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, The Last of Us Part 2. Honestly, I don't know when this game is coming. I thought that it was probably going to be early 2020 or like June 2020, but now there's a bunch of rumors like saying that Last of Us 2 is going to be this year, which would blow my mind because I always thought it was weird to release a game like Days Gone and The Last of Us Part 2 in the same year in your first party lineup, just because they look so similar, like aesthetically, the settings, the post-apocalyptic stuff, all that stuff looks really similar. They're two wildly different games in terms of gameplay, with Days Gone having you take on literally hundreds of zombies, with The Last of Us, like 2 zombies could be enough to kill you, so they're just different in that aspect. But honestly, I'm starting to think that the game just might come out this year, which would be really awesome. Now, we already know that the PS5 is probably coming out next year sometime. They'll probably do an announcement around this time next year for the PlayStation 5. So if The Last of Us is like late this year or early next year, we know that it's pretty much going to be a swan song for the PlayStation 4. Like, it was just how The Last of Us was for the PS3. It's like the last big first party game, and then it's amazing, and then we move on to the next console, and then it gets remastered, and then we play through it again. But that's all my predictions, guys, so I'll quickly go through them real fast. I think we're going to get more information on Concrete Genie and the release date. I think we're finally going to see some real Death Stranding gameplay, no just walking around. I think Bluepoint Games has another remake on the way, and I have a feeling that it's going to be Jak and Daxter. And I think Horizon Zero Dawn 2 just might get teased in the coming days. Along with that, I would love to see Ratchet and Clank 2, the rebooted series, get announced. And of course, Wild re-unveiled, looking better and playing better, and they scrapped the randomly generated environments. With The Last of Us, I hope it's this year, but it's probably next year. But you know what, Naughty Dog, take your sweet time on that game. That's all I got to say today, guys. Be sure to let me know your predictions down in the comments section below. Are you excited for this State of Play PlayStation event? Because I'm pretty excited about it. You know, I love Nintendo Directs, and I'm happy Sony's doing this now. We need this. Just plop these little things out throughout the year, and I'll be really happy. So that's all I got to say. I'll talk to you guys later.